It's okay.
No, you can see you fine.
Yo, welcome to Team RaddTitan, and today we are joined by the fantastic Pierre Experience. So from the House of Gog founder. We're going to be running through some things, showing you some work, drinking some beer, chatting along, catching up. We love having guests on, and we've been talking to Pierre over the last couple of days, trying to twist his arm to get on. He's managed to spare us an hour and 15 minutes of his time, so we'll try very, very hard to not lose him in that time and put him off for life. So welcome everyone that's here, and if you have any questions, fire them along to Alex. Alex as well needs a little bit of credit. I don't like doing, but we're going to have to do it. He actually is in Poland as we speak, so that's why it looks like he's in some sort of Turkish jail behind us.
I think he is in a Turkish jail, actually.
Well, we'll just stick to the Poland story for now. That he's over there. He's visiting his girlfriend's family. So appreciate him taking the time to jump in as well, because he is actually on holiday. Yeah. So it's good to catch up.
And I especially bought a SIM card for this as well for my phone, because the hotel I'm in has got really crap Wi-Fi. And I didn't
Crimea River, you're in on holiday and hotel.
I didn't know how much gig this was going to use, so I thought I'm not using my phone because I'm going to get charged. So I had to buy a SIM card for it. So anyway,
sweet.
All right. So yeah,
so I'm in Montreal, you're in Poland, and you're in the UK, and it's like we're next to each other. God loves
it, man. We are in the best sex sandwich you've ever seen in your life, and you are the ham. Yeah. You are the ham in between mine and Alex's dry bit of bread. So welcome, my man. Welcome. It's lovely to have you on the show.
Crusty bit of bread. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Finally.
You guys talk while I share this anyway. To make sure I share this
Alex will put this on everywhere. So, how are things going, Pierre? I've been following most of your stuff on Instagram and all that, and Claw's coming along nicely, which I'm quite proud to be getting in very soon. How's everything going?
Yeah, very soon. I mean, we committed to Q1 2021, which is soon, but it's going really, really well. We're posting the art boxes next week, so it's going to be for sure Q1 2021, but probably sooner than later. And as you saw in some of the pictures, even though it wasn't like that close-ups, the production piece is again fantastic, identical to the prototype. Often, sometimes better, because at the workshop there's like a recipe, right, to do the statue. So when they get into that groove, like it applies a different touch to the product, different than the prototype in a sense that it has that I don't know. It's hard to explain, but you can see it, and when it's well done, the actual final piece is nicer than a prototype in many cases. So we're really happy with that. We're really busy getting all that organized for you guys. Obviously, 2020 was a special year for everybody, but I think like everybody, we managed to pull ourselves, together, and then life goes on. We're human beings. We can provide anything.
I mean, that's a very good point. I mean, this has got to be one of the hardest starts for a new company, considering how things are. I mean, I know that XM have reported that they're doing incredibly well, and people are buying more than usual. Yeah, you can dream. Yeah,
people are buying collectibles for sure, Joe. That's a good point. And actually, for companies, because obviously we're close to Pure Arts because my partner is the owner of Pure Arts, and it's actually good for toys companies, but for a starting company like us, it's a bit more difficult. And particularly, we launched Jack the week before everything started, so it was pretty intense, to be honest, and hard for everybody. But like I said, generally the toy and collectibles industry doesn't follow the same trends as economical crisis and stuff like that. Usually people continue to buy their collectibles, but for sure it has an effect on people, especially brick and mortar stores, for sure.
Because when people may not understand, I mean, you're not like a Sideshow or an XM. You're like one guy. You've put all your savings, like everything you've got.
We're two guys, but exactly, yes.
You're putting all of that, and this is like, and you've done the unique unique thing, which is you've actually started more original art stuff. You haven't tried to acquire. You've not gone for any sort of licenses that you probably could have picked up without too much difficulty. You've actually wanted to start with your own stuff, which is an incredibly risky strategy.
Risky strategy, but also both Hugues and myself are collectors. And Hugues, I mean, he's been in the hobby since the garage kits in the 80s. So he's been really into it for a long time. He was collecting like future models, the garage kits in Victoriaville, which is a small town in Quebec, in the 80s or early 90s. So he's been around for a long time, and me, I was more into toys, as you can see behind me. I mean, I do collect statues. I have tons of them, but I'm more of a toy, or was more of a toy collector. So we met somewhere in the middle. But we both wanted to start a company according to our own sort of what would be the perfect or the most fun statue company to start, regardless of becoming a millionaire the first year. So that's not even part of course, we need to make enough money to be able to pay ourselves and make a living out of it. But other than that, it's more of a passion project, which is turning into a profitable business, obviously. Otherwise, we won't be able to continue doing this. But we wanted to start something that was sort of tailored to what the perfect statue company would be for us personally, right? And obviously, we both like art very much as well as superheroes. Hey, buddy, my dog just came to say hi. I'll show it. Come here, buddy. No? Okay.
What have you got? So dare I ask? What type of dog is...
Actually, it's from
you pick
the
up
UK.
You pick up a Pomeranian, and I'm fucking blocking you. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, they're very popular. They're really
it's a border
popular.
terrier. They're from Scotland and UK. I think it's the border between the two parts, the two countries.
Oh, yes, I mean similar to me. I was born in Scotland.
Okay, so then they're fox hunting dogs. She's really super chill, super nice dog. So, anyways, the reason why we went to art instead of superheroes or licenses, although our approach is basically a license. Approaching a big artist is similar to approaching a brand. But first of all, it was a business sort of a strategic idea as well, because everybody's doing the same characters and the same licenses. Understandably, I mean, I understand how licenses are given away. Like ideally, they're going to give a scale and a character for a territory to only one company. That way, everybody's happy. But for us, being the X amount of company that makes the same thing, that wasn't very appealing to me as a new statue maker, and to Hugues as a statue maker that's already has a business that's doing licenses for video games and movies and all of that. So we try to find our place, and we came up with the idea of having art and artists at the center of our brand. And I'm talking like artists like Pascal Blan, but there are others artists coming as well into aboard. But art and artists are at the center of our brand, and it's both a personal choice and a business sort of a decision as well. Risky, no doubt.
But I also think it's a bit of trailblazing in there. I can respect it that I mean, at the end of the day now, Marvel, characters and DC stuff's never been hotter in the history of those two sort of things. Superheroes has never ever been higher or more sort of sought after at this moment.
So mainstream now, yeah.
I mean, it's not exactly like it's as big as a risk. I mean, you will be going up against other competitors. But when I first saw
licensing costs now, though, obscene. Absolutely obscene.
I bet they are. But when I first saw Moonstone, for example, I mean, you have to be. In fact, you must be the absolute best at making the art into a 3D statue and it being seamless. I've never seen a picture of a piece of artwork and a statue next to it and then look so similar. It's quite alarming, freaky actually, in fact. Especially like the Moonstone and the Jackson stuff. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, on a 2D in a photograph, it's very hard for me to know which one is actually which. Mm-hmm. It's very difficult. Only a little bit of depth deceived, so you can sort of pick. Other than that, it's very, very difficult to see.
There's a little bit of detailing around the breasts you can pick up on if you look close enough.
I bet you can.
Here's Moonstone has breast. All right, so there's two things here. Actually, there's one important thing to mention. Pascal Blanchet is a 3D artist that works in ZBrush and then sort of paints over his sculpt with Photoshop and Keyshot and some tools to make it look like a 2D object. But originally, it's a 3D object. That's one of the reasons why it translates so well from the original artwork, which is in 3D, but it's fooling our eyes because it doesn't look like a 3D object. It looks like just a 2D sort of painting, but into a statue. So first thing is that it's easier to stay loyal to the artwork because it's digital artwork in the first place. Okay, one thing. Our next artist is 2D, so we'll see if we can keep on. It's going to be an interesting challenge for us. But sorry, Alex, go.
So I'm just saying what we're seeing now is we're seeing Pascal's work on the screen now.
Yeah, that's the cover he did for Dune. Actually, the sort of a Dune cover, a book cover, and this is his work on Aquaman, the movie. He designed a few characters, and I know I've told you this before, but he designed Black Manta for the movie, Pascal Blanchet. So that was a contract he had with DC.
That's amazing.
So the actual Black Manta you have on screen is Pascal Blanchet's design.
What made you seek out or want to do the work for Pascal Blanchet? What was it about his particular art that spoke to you, that you wanted to make statues in his work?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
This isn't my first time, my friend.
Pascal is amongst my favorite artists in the world and has been for many years. I'm a fan of heavy metal magazine. I was introduced to this type of rock and roll art. Like Philippe Drouillet, Mobius, Corbin that passed away recently at a young age, maybe too young because there was the nudity in the magazine, but that was an older cousin. I mean, most of the people my age who got introduced to heavy metal magazine, it's through older cousin or older brothers, no doubt. So thankfully, I got introduced to those masters early. So I was already sort of initiated to a different type of art, more because if you look at what Mobius did with the Stan Lee, with the Silver Surfer and all that, it's Marvel, but it's got the French touch to it, something pretty interesting to it. So I was already influenced by that type of art early on. So when I discovered Pascal's heavy metal cover that we used for Moonstone, I'm like, oh wow, man, this is amazing. And when I decided to start a company, it was a statue.
I just want to say how perfectly timed that was.
Perfectly seamless.
We've been rehearsing for 3 days, trying.
Yeah, but we would have to give you a script for that to have worked any better, and believe me, we would have definitely fucked that up. So
I would probably have done the same. So I was very already in love with this type of art, and my artists before even being a fan of Pascal, my favorite artists were Mobius, a French artist, and Philippe Drouillet as well, a French artist as well, founders of Metal Hurlant, who became heavy metal in the US. I invite everybody to Wikipedia this. It's very interesting, and it's sort of the beginning of everything that we love today. These guys are the godfathers, and often, and it's always, every generation has somebody they love that has the influence on the next generation. So if I talk to my father, I'm sure he's going to name references which I don't remember, which are super important. But let's say Frank Frazetta. A lot of people know Frank Frazetta. A lot of people don't know. Yeah. So, but he's so important in the fantasy and science fiction, mostly fantasy, for Frazetta, but so important in the genre that it's important for people to remember. So, anyways, to get back to Pascal. I had a list of artists I made that I would like to work with, because early on, Hugues, my partner, told me that he wanted me to drive the art direction of the artists that we're selecting, because he manages the art direction of the product at the factory. But so it was always in my my area of responsibilities to develop the artists and repertoire, the A&R. And so when I took the name downs of artists, Pascal was at the top of my list because of those reasons, and also because I thought he was such a badass artist, modern artist, that he's hard to beat, even though there's many amazing artists. I mean, just go on Instagram for 10 minutes and it's crazy. But Pascal has something that is quite unique, and I think he captured the retro vibe of the 80s, 70s that we grew up with. You know, Pascal is a fan of Star Wars. It's obvious in his work. So we're the similar generation, although he's slightly older than me. Sorry, Pascal. Not by much, but we have the same background in terms of influences as well.
That great kind of retro, kind of dystopian look about it is great.
Oh, yeah.
Really
That's
love it.
There's a Richard Corbin in this. There's Frazetta, obviously, because Frazetta was using the planet or the moon in his composition. So Pascal, for sure, is influenced, heavily influenced by those artists, and he's always very open about it. There's some Drouillet in there. I mean, I think it connects to all of that, and that's what we feel when we look at the work. It's people who connect with Pascal's work, that's what they feel from it, I would say.
I just wanted to stop on this image because this is actually what George was talking about. With
that's sick.
Kind of comparison. This on the left of the screen is actually, you know, the artwork, and on the right hand is actually a photo of the statue, and that's a comparison of the two, and it's
ludicrous,
seamless, absolutely seamless.
If anything, the statue looks better.
Yeah.
You've seen it in person. I mean, that's another thing. People have seen pictures or on a video, especially if it's a webcam, the colors are off. But it's quite and I know I'm biased, but it's quite spectacular in person. I mean, Hugues and his team did, and our team, but should I say, did an incredible job. And that's the A team of that worked on those. That's his best painters, best sculptors, best everything. And just to get back on your question, George, and it's links to what Alex is saying right now. Pascal works in 3D. Okay, that's that. But in terms of sculpting, we still had to sculpt everything again, because the way Pascal makes it work like this, it's not the same the statue needs to work 360 degrees. So the breasts were not round on Pascal. I mean, I could start deconstructing Pascal's. I mean, I would do it because it wouldn't be able to make a statue if we just use the sculpt exactly like this. Just anything that's back of what you don't see on Pascal's work, he didn't really work on it. It could be not even textured, you don't know, right? Because you don't see it. Us, we needed to.
Yeah. But that's
sorry, George,
very,
go ahead.
That's very true with a lot of things. People sometimes fail, and in fact fail spectacularly, to understand that even a 3D, you know, a digital piece of work, it's very, very hard to translate into a statue form sometimes, and doing it 2D sometimes with statues is just really difficult. People have all these great ideas and say, you know, you should do this, you should do that, you know, make it just like this cover. But the practicalities of doing something like that is really, really not so easy, and it never, very rarely works the way that you expect it to.
Yeah, and that's why that's why often a digital sculptor will do something, send it to the team, production team, then they'll need to rework it in terms of engineering. That's why often it's good to have sculptors who have this engineering background for collectibles. That way, in their own sculpting, they already anticipate problems that they might have.
Yeah. We see that constantly, where there is, you know, there are basically artists, 3D artists, who will do something in a certain way. They'll sculpt their image and they'll submit it. And then what will happen is when it goes to the company will then have to tweak it to be, as you say, like the engineering side of it, so the factory can replicate it, so that it can be painted, so whatever the reasons are. So the licensor will accept it. All of these points. So then when the actual artist sees this piece again, they're like, that's not my work. You've changed my work. And obviously a lot of artists are very passionate. So then they get very passionate about their response in how this has been changed, and that's something which I'm seeing a lot lately.
I mean, you know. Hey, go on, Pierre. Sorry.
No. But Alex is right. But in terms of for us with Pascal was actually don't break a teeth. I don't want House of Gog to have to install you a new molar.
The funny thing is with this, though,
is one in resin.
When you see the moonstone, when you see the concept, when you see the photos, from a picture point of view, it shouldn't work. It just shouldn't work as a statue at all. It doesn't have enough colors and contrast, and it doesn't. So you look at the picture and you're just like, all right, we'll have a look at that. But when you get it in person, it's an amazing thing, because it's the type of statue that stops people dead. And it's the type of statue that you can have in the middle of a room, and you can have it with grail pieces, and somebody who doesn't know what they're looking at, right? So they don't have any of the romance. Somebody like, I don't know, your DHL driver, or your Virgin, installer. Somebody like that will come in, and see, and they'll walk around the room, and that's the piece that will stop them absolutely dead. And it's purely on an artistic point of view, and it's quite an impressive thing to be able to do that. One of my favorite things to do is, if I have anybody in my house, workmen, anybody doing anything that are not involved in my hobby at all, I like to bring them into my room, and I like to say, tell me what you think is the best piece in this room.
That's cool.
Because
actually,
I like that. When I get people in here who are in the hobby, they instantly go to pieces that they recognize as maybe grails, or that they recognize as sought after pieces. They are already affected. They're affected by what they know. So I really like it when somebody comes in who has absolutely no fucking idea what they're looking at in terms of value, in terms of age. And I like it when they say, I really like, this, or I really like the other. That is one of my favorite things to do. In fact, to the point where my wife will say, stop letting fucking strangers in your room and showing them around,
I got in trouble for that the other day. Cody Spencer's just basically said
the beauty of
he's late, but how many times has Alex said this is his girlfriend's favourite piece?
I think he said it once already, but it's early. We're only 21 minutes and 30 seconds in. Yeah. Give it another 5 times.
She's nodding in the background.
The only reason that he says that is to just reassure you that he has a girlfriend, and that's the case. That's all it is.
People need to know why I'm in a relationship. Otherwise, I get some really weird PMs.
What's also cool, George, following up on what you were saying, with people less familiar with collectibles getting into, there's a big part of our fan base, customer base, who are statue collectors, obviously, but there's also a lot of newcomers who were not collectors, at least not statue or toy collectors, and the fact that we're doing art instead of superheroes. Even though they are superheroes because they have stories, they have they are heroes or characters in a sorts, but I think it appeals to people who would not necessarily be appealed by superheroes in the first place. So it opens the door to a new type of collectors, as well as serving collectors like us who are been around for a long time, and maybe they want to move on to collecting something different, or are just more into art. Or most of my toys here are independent companies. I have barely any licenses. I have some black and white Batman. I think that's a beautiful line. I have them on my top shelf here. But besides that, it's mostly indie companies. And I have nothing against the other companies. Obviously, my partner Hug does licenses for many companies. The Vader I have, I don't think you see it. I think it's a Kucharek brother sculpt there, the Vader in the back. That was Sideshow. Hug made that one with Pure Art.
Is that the Mythos line? Mythos line?
No, that's not. That's the one people have been making fun of, saying it was.
It's called you can play table tennis with the head.
Yeah, or quarterback. But honestly, it's a really. That's, if people always find ways to mock things. Even I sometimes I'm tempted, but I try to stay professional. But at the same time, it's a really, really cool statue.
Dude, you are so on the wrong show for staying professional, my man. we will ruin you here. This is the dark side you're sitting on, bro. I got to say though, I don't know if you're aware, but we actually gave Moonstone the 1/6 award for last year, I believe. Was it last year? 2019 awards.
Yes.
I don't know if you're aware about that, Pierre, but he was, she was breathtaking, man. She really was, and I think you should be incredibly proud of your first piece being that. I also the thing I love about your pieces in particular, as a collector myself, is the fact that it's approached like a collector would approach it. Having the base where you can stick the weapons on it and make a display of it, and you can basically display the alternative portrait. It's genius. It's exactly what a person that is a collector would think of. It's not necessarily what a company would think of, is what a collector would think of. So I think, I think it's a fantastic way to do it.
Just going to say, Richard saying that Metal Harlot and Heavy Metal, I was raised on these as a teen, awesome stuff. And then Stack of Inferno is, I would also like to see House of God transform art by Simon Beasley, Bruce Pennington, and Rodney Matthews in statue form, match made in heaven, methinks.
Well, I agree. And listen, we have amazing, we have artists already signed in the pipeline, but at the same time, you have to understand that we're a baby brand, just starting, and selling an original art statue is not the same as selling a Darth Vader or a Wolverine. So, so the selling cycle, I mean, Moonstone is on the way of being sold out, but we're starting, right? So it takes a little longer for us to get our money back and all that stuff. So right now we're working really hard to have really cool releases for you next year. But you have to understand that the pace at which we're going is a pace of a new independent company who's doing really well considering what they are, right? And because
these are not huge edition sizes on these pieces.
400. And even the big licenses, they do that sort of edition size nowadays, you know. So,
that's not, they're not big, huge numbers. So profit margins on these pieces, the margins for you is not going to be huge.
Well, that's the thing, Gio. The reason why we're selling ourselves and we're not, I mean, I had an order of Moonstone the day we opened, almost half our production. But our business model was built to be profitable not only, but mostly if we sell ourselves online. If I was going to sell through Sideshow, Moonstone would be twice the price. So right now you're able to buy the statue at this price because you're buying directly from us, and not only directly from us, but we are the factory also. So we're not using a third party to produce our statue.
So you're minimizing costs and basically you're trying to provide those onto collectors.
You've seen Moonstone, George. I mean, you've seen many statues, and without being cocky or anything, it's a very complicated and beautifully made statue that somebody who's just starting cannot make. You cannot make this type of level of statue. Yeah, it's impossible. No. With all due respect, with all my brothers.
There's some elements on there which I haven't even seen before, like when
we innovated on paint, we innovated on plastics, on resin.
Plastics used like for the belts, you know, that belt part where it kind of flops down on. I think that's actually on Jack, sorry, isn't it? But that plastic,
on all three, we have parts like that. The parts were highly. It's still more susceptible to breakage than any other statues because we don't have large parts. And I mean, a lot of statue companies, and you know, Alex, you know, guys. There's a reason why they build them the way they build them. It's because you don't want to have to deal with the breakage and all that stuff, even though it's part of the hobby. So by doing this type of statues, we took risk in terms of design as well. But once you have it in your collection and you look at it, I mean, I'm still looking at it. It's my own statues. I've had her for like 4 years now because I had the photo, and I'm still completely mesmerized by it.
Well, I filmed a room tour just before I left. So what day were you at my house last? 2 Tuesdays ago, was it, or something, George?
Yeah. See you next Tuesday, wasn't it?
Last Tuesday, I think it was. And basically, George was there. I filmed a room tour, and in the room tour, like she really pops out of all the pieces. I'm going through them all. As soon as she comes up, I sent you when I was editing it. I sent you a screenshot because I was like, Jesus, look at the colors.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but it also is something. It's just something that is very different, and there is something about it. There's something about this style that is museum-esque. It's art. It's Banksy. It's new. It's retro. It's new school. It's just a mix, a concoction of sort of artwork where you sort of look at it and you're like, how the fuck does that work? And it pulls you straight into it.
I didn't include that picture that was in the gallery.
I am pissed that I missed out on that Moonstone that fucking idiot above you's got it. Absolutely livid, man. You'll never know.
Yeah, that I mean, and all of her statues are the photography. I love toy photography and statue photography. We have some customers who are also fans of RaddTitan who've taken really good pictures of our statues and of other statues. This is something I think is really big in the toy industry. toy collectors take pictures of their toys because they're articulated. They can make them into situations, stuff like that. For statue, it's coming. Like we've done a collaboration with Saul from Boss Logic. Super nice crew, by the way. I don't know if you guys know Boss Logic and all these such Australian guys. They're amazing dudes. And he took a series of photos, fantastic photos of Jack and Moonstone, and we're sending in Claw for another round of photos because it's just really, really cool, and they're beautiful.
The photos will come up in here. Are they the ones you've done for the thumbnail?
Yeah, the black with a black background, like
they'll come up in the
just a quick note on the paint.
I do love that head.
You'll see it right here. We see it well. You see the glow that Moonstone has on the top of her helmet and around the eyes. This was on purpose. So there's a yellow in there. There's a and George mentioned it in in their review back then. It might be 3 colors, but there's a lot of things happening, lots of highlights, and it's a lot more complicated than you might think when you see it in person. We had chemists come up with special blends of paint because the color is a very important element of Pascal, and we had to capture that vibe, and that the vibe is what you feel when you look at those statues, and that's from Pascal's work. We just captured it.
Well, I think what I like about that though is the fact that it's almost like a challenge. The way that when I look at this statue, I imagine that somebody sat down when it was raw and said, right, you've got 4 colors and you have to make it as differential as you can. Good luck. And that's how it finishes. It's amazing how it's done. It definitely deserved our 1/6 award. It won easy. It was no competition. It wasn't close.
It's one of those places
that meant a lot to us, by the way, because everybody's looking for recognition, but we definitely, and everybody thinks they deserve everything also. So it's a natural human feeling. But we honestly, with the knowledge that we have, and we're collectors ourselves, we were happy to be recognized by the hobby because we honestly thought we deserved a little something for sure.
It's one of those pieces though that when you do see it, as you said before, it's like every photo you see and even in our video, it looks like someone's fucked with the colors. It looks like you cranked up the saturation.
It's been saturated,
but it's not. That's how it looks.
That's how it looks. Yeah.
You know, when
with the light on it, obviously.
I take a photo of it and it looks good. That means it's a good.
That means exceptional because Alex can make a bar of gold look like a bar of monkey shit. Believe me. He can really. His pictures that he sends me sometimes, I just want to kill him.
Yeah. This is one of the skill to it. Yeah, there is. I love that picture.
My favorite picture of this. My favorite picture of this is the one that's in I think it's in a museum.
Yeah.
It's the one where she's on the map. I love that.
I have. You know a story about that because I have her here. By the way, I returned in from New York. It didn't sell. It almost sold, but coronavirus started. That weekend actually. So people that had bidded on items, they stopped. But you know who bought most of the exhibition? This is anecdote. It's pretty cool actually. And George Lucas is one of the world's biggest fan and collector of Mobius. And obviously Mobius influenced Star Wars immensely because George Lucas has been a fan of Mobius for a long time. Mobius is a science fiction comic artist from the 70s. He passed away now, but he's amazing. He worked on he did the Tron suits for the movie Tron back in the days, and Lincal, which is one of the best comics ever. Look it up. But anyways, George Lucas bought most, I think it's like 80% of the entire exhibition, which was French masters, comics from the 50s to now. So all the Philippe Drouillet and all those great French artists, French and Belgium artists. So he bought most of the collection. And I'm like, okay, did he buy Moonstone? Like, that would have been the best anecdote. But unfortunately, he wasn't part of the
he missed
deal.
out.
Yeah, he did.
Looks like I got a Mad Max movie. Looks like I got a Mad Max movie. So it's in there. Omar Emperor in the house. Cheers, Omar.
Thank you, brother. I'll have a little beer for you, man. Thank you very much. Help supporting the channel.
If there's questions, Alex, in the chat, maybe you can ask them for me, because I'm not seeing chat, unfortunately, guys. So I can't.
I'm putting the chat comments up there coming up.
Okay, perfect. I think I saw a question about where were the characters from. It's from the original art of Pascal Blan. So it's part of a story that exists inside his mind, but we did have an intro story and intro comics for each character that you can look up on our social media or website.
Yeah, because you're doing that, aren't you? You're turning it into a book.
Sorry, that's actually a question my girlfriend has. Wait there, I need to find it. And she says,
I'll get to you.
Hold on. She says, yeah, when the fuck is the graphic novel coming out?
Baby steps, but obviously it would be amazing to do something with the Derelict Planet universe of Pascal Blan. Obviously, they have a, like it's something that would be great. But there's steps that needs to be done prior. And Pascal also works as a senior art director at the Behavior Interactive. The video game company, a big video game company in Montreal that do Dead by Daylight. So obviously doesn't have as much time as a person that does this 100% of the time. But this is definitely something that would be amazing, but it's not in our plans for now. What we can do for now is create short stories with our characters, which are pretty cool. I don't know if you follow them, and Pascal does the artwork for them. And that's it for now. But definitely this is something that we would like to expand on, but it's more of a baby step type of thing. I'm still waiting for Netflix to call, though.
You need to make a Meta Baron or a Incal statue. I've just looked up Meta Baron. It's like a kind of Battle Angel later looking thing.
Yeah, I have a Bowen Arzak here from Mobius.
There's your girlfriend, isn't it? Who's in the handsome man sandwich?
That's one of the anti. Did she say I was handsome? No. So Mobius would be. The thing is with artists like Mobius, or when you talk about giants, you have to go through their estate, and it becomes really complicated. And although we're not close to the idea, even licenses at one point in our life, it's more a question of want to keep the course with what we're doing right now. I think it's the right thing to do for the hobby and for us. We'll see in a few years, but we're developing a new market. Something different for the collectors, and I think we need to push that way. And we need to stay away from large corporation, although God bless Disney and Fox and all those companies for providing all these amazing movies and stuff. But we are indie, and we want to stay indie. And as soon as you start to talk to somebody too powerful, you're going to have to sacrifice on your art direction, on a bunch of things.
Yeah.
And this is not something we want to do. We want to stay indie.
That's exactly it. And I mean, we talk in the comic world, as you know, we talk about this a lot in terms of certain characters you just shouldn't Disney. It's really that simple. Deadpool, Wolverines, even really Hulk to some degree. They just shouldn't really be Disneyfied. They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be idiot-proofed the way that they are. And it does kill them. It does kill it.
But
so,
Gio,
these are some nice shots. These shots.
These
are
are the
really
pictures
nice.
that Pierre was talking about.
This is Saul, who's one of Boss Logic's best friend, and he's a photographer. He does go on his Instagram. It's the Soul. Hold on, I'll give you the Instagram in a second. But he takes statue pictures, and he's just sick, amazing. I mean, his Instagram. Sorry, it's the Funk Saul brother in one word. And
very clever. Clever.
Yeah, and he does amazing statue photographies of other statues, of course, not only ours, but really cool dude. And Boss Logic, a lot of people know him. And I forgot what I was going to tell Gio. I'll come back to me.
Probably to fuck off or something like that, I imagine. But we'll get back to it later.
Most likely.
Yeah, that's okay. But I mean, yeah. The thing is, as well, you're right. Once you start getting into some suits, it's going to definitely start affecting your direction. And if you want to keep things in there, it's a good thing.
It's okay, it's okay. I mean, I respect like Sideshow's amazing company. I respect those people. It's just a different thing. It's just a different thing. And what we're doing is daring. We're rebels, and we like to stay that way.
But it's amazing how many people would appreciate that. The whole
I think people are doing so by looking at the support that we're getting from the guys. Sorry, Alex. This is Pascal's original artwork for Jack.
I was just saying now we're on to Jack, just to say that the characters.
Yeah. So this is Pascal's artwork on the left, and our statue on the right.
Statue looks better again.
Yeah. Well, you know why? Because it's more. A statue is an actual object, and symmetry and all that is I can see, and it's polished, and
it's so fucking close, though, man. I mean, you're never going to get closer. You're never going to get close. So
and
close.
You know, a small touch that Hugues did that does Jack. He did a gloss on the two circles of the eyes. Yeah. And it's a small little details, but it's major. It changes the whole thing. And then now that I've told you, if you go see Alex's Jack, you'll see what I mean. It's a little gloss that he put that's really like badass.
I really like that big. I prefer this head. This is my preferred display.
Yeah,
this one with the sort of.
It's like a Ronin, isn't it?
It reminds me so much
of Japanese samurai type character.
It reminds me so much of Big Trouble in Little China. You know, the winds, what they call.
That was amazing. That movie. Actually, I should watch it again. Didn't you watch it recently?
I watched it recently. My girlfriend absolutely
you didn't like it. Yeah, so maybe
dump her immediately. Get rid of her.
I've been showing my girlfriend so many 80s movies, 90s movies, and she loved nearly everything I showed her. I showed her Big Trouble in Little China, and she absolutely hated it. Really, there was a lot of films I thought
don't marry her.
She's going to hate this. She's going to hate this. She's going to hate this. She liked it. Got to Big Trouble in Little China, and I'm like, this is an easy win.
To be honest, Jenny wouldn't like it either.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. You can't. First of all, you're not watching the movie with the same eyes as you did when you did watch it, and it had such an
nostalgia. You watched it as a kid. I mean, I've got real.
We have to take this into consideration. I try the same with my girlfriend, who's actually into that stuff in the first place. And some movies, even I'm like, oh, okay.
I watch some.
There's great engineering on this part here, where his right hand is over the barrel, sort of blade, and then there's the magnets that attaches and keeps it on there, which is just very
and
clever.
There's even a give on the arm, but there's a small give, a flexibility on the arm, so that way if you hit the arm, it doesn't. So there's a small give on purpose in the engineering of the arm as well.
And then these are the bits, is what I'm saying. You get all these extra parts. Yeah, I love all these sort of where you can stick the actual extras, which is just fantastic because you can. I think Alex has a whole shelf of all them parts with some other stuff. And it's
I think I had to put that gun away. I had to put it into the box because it was too big.
They're massive. That blade across there is something like 22 inches long.
It's
It is.
I mean,
it's about. Yeah, there you are. You trying to make up for something there, Pascal? Are you?
Pascal PA.
But no, they're obviously what you can put the gun if you need less more clearance. And you mentioned the fact that we designed those things at the standalone art pieces. They were designed not only to be just a pillar with a head on it, but to actually be an art piece on its own. And that came late in the process, actually. So this part is 100% paid by House of Gog in the sense that it wasn't designed in our cost. I mean, mind you, it's not. It doesn't cost us a fortune to add, but still additional costs that were that are part of the package for sure.
People don't understand as well the actual engineering and the 3D renders and all that kind of side of it that do take a lot of time and money to do. People just go, that's like, I don't know, whatever that costs X for the factory to produce. That's the cost. That's it. The factory can make that.
I think the real thing that the hobby struggles with, a lot of people struggle with, is changing. I don't think they understand at certain types that you see things. If you were to suddenly go, okay, let me just move that arm, or let me just, they say, oh, just move that slightly to the left, or oh, just add this to it, and you
forget
at the stage that they're seeing it, you're like, do you know what that costs to just make that slight alteration that you're talking about at this point?
It's crazy, and not only that, there's just to give you a scope of things, and I wouldn't be able to talk for other companies, but Moonstone, I think, has maybe more than 40 or 60 molds. I mean, Like it's a lot of what you see has been assembled in factory and glued together, and what you get is the final product that you assemble with magnets and 3 or 4 parts. But when you make a statue, you can have 100 parts. Like and the more molds you have, the smaller parts you have, the molds you have, the more money it costs because you have the tooling, you have the molds, you have the people that needs to sand everything after. I mean, it's crazy. There is more work in a House of Gog, the Blade Master helmet with the tubes for Moonstone?
Yeah.
There is more molds and more work in just this one head than a lambda statue that you would get from a normal company.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
No,
doesn't surprise me.
And there's a reason. I mean, it's a choice that we made, and obviously we're not going to become millionaire on Moonstone, because the cost is really high. But we wanted to do.
With the Moonstone molds, were they milled steel?
What do you mean by that?
Were they made out of milled steel, or were they actually like silicone molds?
Silicone molds. Yeah.
Okay.
We don't have. Silicone molds, but still.
Because it was plastic, sometimes like with the kind of PVC, kind of PU stuff.
No, there's no PVC. We don't have that would have cost a fortune because tooling for PVC is you need to make 10,000 units to make it worth it.
That's the other side.
That's how they don't get that.
That's the other side that people don't understand. Yeah, they see.
But I think slowly they're starting to understand. With remember that big.
Well, we've been saying it for fucking years. So if they're not listening now, they're never going to listen.
Well, that's the point. Is when you get like a piece, as you're going to say, I think Doomsday. Yeah. When you get a piece like Doomsday, which has like a PVC head, and the reason it has a PVC head is because of all the spikes. So it's going to hold up over time. It'd be much better to use PVC.
So you continue with the details. You don't lose details each cast, each mold.
The cost to do that on something with that addition size actually costs more than doing it out of.
Oh yeah. There's a negative stigma for PVC, and I think it should change. There's some beautiful PVC pieces, but I'm a resin collector. I think the trade-off that we did with our statues is good because it's soft resin, it's not PVC, and it serves the purpose of a PVC. We still have work to do. It's not perfect, but it's a really good lead that we're on. And
what you need to
there was a question about if we had artworks to go with the statues from the chat I saw. Those are the art print that we're seeing on screen right now. We have 18 by 24 art prints that are sold separately. They're amazing, like next level printing and paper. I'm talking 100% cotton, acid-free, UV-free, the whole shebang. If you have a poster at home, you'll be amazed by this one because it's not a poster. It's an actual art print. So we do sell them separately. And so you can get them on our website. So I wanted to answer the question.
Even the pixels with the one that comes with the statue is very high. The pixel weight is
the same printer. So the smaller print, the 9x7 that comes with the statue is displayable and it's super high quality. But it's not signed by Pascal. The 18 by 24 are signed by Pascal. They're embossed with the logo House of Gog. They're hand stamped and numbered. It's the full service.
It's just that little extra, isn't it? It's that just going that extra, which is good because it's good.
It's a collectible, right? So
you give the option for, and I mean in terms of the whole situation when we first unboxed Moonstone, everything was top quality. The box was top quality. It was very, very high level.
Do you know what the box reminded me of? It reminded me of when you buy a brand new mobile phone, when you buy like a brand new iPhone or like that kind of one where
it's soft touch. It's the same, pretty much the same thing, Alex.
Very high quality box.
It's pretty, and we make them ourselves. The shipper we have them make.
Timing. Yeah.
No, I'm just on fire today, me.
The boxes are made in house. We make our boxes ourselves, and the design was made by one of my buddies in Montreal, a super nice guy named Etienne. What's up, Etienne? So he did the design for the box, and we're revealing Claw's art box next week, which is goes with that style. It's quite cool.
The thing you told me about the boxes, is that public?
The photos, I didn't share any photos of the new box.
No. When we spoke the other day, you told me about the boxes. Should I just say it? Okay. All the boxes are the same size, yeah?
Oh, yeah, that's not a secret. Yeah, of course.
Okay,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
it's all about what we know versus what we can tell you. The secrets that we hold.
I've literally got to sign some forms with XM, and I've got to give away a lot. I've got to give away a lot of shit if I talk. So yeah, I can't do it.
No, but those are Saul's photos again that he did. I love this one. This is a profile pic of Jack, the giant hunter.
I like that. I like that play on words that you use for Jack. It's very, very clever.
Well, yeah, but
it's like Jack. It's like Jack the Giant Killer, Jack and the Beanstalk. I love that play.
All kinds,
it's very, very clever. I mean, the connotations that you do in your head is smart. I like that.
Thank you, Gio. We tweaked it a little bit to make it sound a bit more foreign or like alienish by adding an A. But yeah, we were happy with the name of the characters, to be honest, and it all stems from Pascal's own name that he gave. We just tweaked them a little bit.
Where's the inspiration for this in terms of, does Pascal ever tell you where these things come from? I mean, I love the story of Terminator. I love that story. It's one of my favorites. Where
it's amazing. I'm a big fan.
It is James Cameron, isn't it? I'm not going mad, am I? It's Cameron?
Terminator?
Yeah, who's Terminator?
Terminator is Cameron, but it's based on...
No, listen. It's him. He had a fever.
No, it's based on a story called the Man with the Glass Handles. It's something.
No, it's not. He had a dream. He had a dream.
It's based on a story called The Soldier.
I watched the program. I watched him discussing it, and he had a like 104 fever.
I love that picture.
And he was on the set. He was on the settee, and he was sleeping, shivering, shaking, and he had this unbelievable, like he had one of them vivid dreams. Yeah, he was sick. He was really unwell, and he had a fever. And he was on his sofa shaking, and he said like he was waking in this terror of this thing from the future that was chasing, and he was writing down parts of the film when he was having this fever. Like parts of the film are part of his nightmare, and I love knowing those little, what actually, because some of this stuff. I mean,
basically that's bullshit anyway, because it's based on. I just googled it again, and it's called A Soldier from Tomorrow. It's based on a 1964 story called A Soldier.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is that elements of the story are part of that nightmare. Why are you not listening? It's not wherever the inspiration for other parts there'll be lots of inspiration from lots of different areas. But what he was saying in one of the interviews for I think it was on Terminator 2 where he's talking about it, was he saying the original concept, parts of it came from a nightmare, which you'd have to say, looking at some of these pieces, it looks very similar. Where do these sort of things live in someone's mind? They're almost something out of a bad dream, right?
Good question, George. And I think every artist has a different answer for that, right? But I think they all could say it comes from within. I invite everybody to follow Pascal Blanchet on Twitter, because you will see where he gets his inspiration. It's Pascal Blanchet in one word on Twitter. And so it comes from a lot of the artists I mentioned earlier, but you see his inspiration. He posts about them, and it's really interesting. So I am sure part of the images that he comes up with are come from the universe of those masters as well. So I think it's a mix between his own sort of inner sort of universe and all the influence that he had over the years.
Because part of this guy, I mean, I love him on the army beetle. I've forgotten what they're called now. Rhino beetle, is it?
It's not a dung beetle, is it?
No, it's not a dung beetle. We have this.
Oh, you guys again.
It's like a fuck. It's some form of like army beetle. I'm sure it's an army beetle or something like that. Anyway, but the
a soldier beetle.
Could be something like army. There's army or soldier or something like that. There's something in it that's that or something like that. Anyway, but I think sometimes he looks like that dude. Is it from Tekken? The big fucking. Is it Jack? The big
with the mohawk?
Yeah, he's like a machine.
By the way, guys, George, I don't think you know this, but you know the pincers of the beetle, they're removable on magnets. So that's a small little touch. If you go to I don't think you can come back to the previous one, but we put them on the extra base. You see them there.
Yeah. They sort of hold the hand, hold the other arm.
So basically, if you need to clear space or just change the look, we added a little touch as well.
That's clever. Yeah, I like it because it adds a nice little touch to that extra display with the weapon.
Yeah. Just another variation.
It reminds me of a character. I think it's from Cyber City Oedo. Anyway, from the old manga. Yeah. It reminds me of a character from that.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I like the double-bladed thing, man. The double-bladed thing, badass.
Where is it? It's sick, man. It's really cool. And the way claw is displayable, it's a bit of in an angle, so you don't have to display it with the full width of the weapon. It's in an angle, so it helps a little bit as well. Yeah, we had fun.
I'm really excited for this one. I missed out on the other two, so I'm really. This is one I'm waiting for now. I wasn't gonna fuck up 3 times in a row.
Well, you know.
Yeah, I you know what I mean. I just keep drilling. Eventually, I'll hit oil one day. One day, I'll get there.
So sometimes, but yeah, you catch on in the end.
We have
even a broken clock tells the right time twice a day.
Even a blind cockerel will find corn sometimes. What is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like the claw arm though. The mechanic arm looks good. I haven't seen these close-up pictures.
I like both. To be honest, right now I have the claw displayed, but I like both. I mean, there's a lot of things happening in the back in terms of paint and sculpt. It's pretty cool. Pascal wanted to keep the back really simple, so it's like the idea is that claw, and it's part of his bio. Builds his own stuff. Like he builds his own like armor, so it's like a bit rugged, and it was wielded like professionally, but you can see that it's sort of amateurish
sort of like
as well.
Iron Man Mark 1 sort of routine.
Yeah, a little bit, I would say, but more like he's a space ravager, right? So he's a bit of a pirate. He flies in he has a very powerful ship, and he flies around and he plunders and scavenges all around the place. So he's always in space, so he needs to repair his own equipment and stuff like that. It's more in that sense.
Nice.
That picture is sick. Yeah, those pictures, and the product looks exactly like this. Like the final product is exactly.
Love his little giggle to himself. How happy he is with himself. He's like my son when he gets his own way.
Yeah, obviously my biggest. I'm a House of Gog's #1 fan. There's no secret. You can't blame me for it.
It's all right. That's okay. You're forgiven, man. It's all right. But yeah, I'm digging the pictures, man. This looks like an incredibly detailed piece.
That's the art print. Yeah, it's really. I mean,
can you spell Pascal Blan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you spell
can you type it in chat, Alex?
Oh my God, me! You want me to work?
S.
Yeah.
A-L.
P-A-S-C.
And then
E-L, is it? P-A-S-C-E-L.
P-A-S-C-A-L, Pascal.
Yeah.
Space B-L-A-N-C-H-E. Pascal Blanchet. But you don't have to do the little accent. You'll be able to find it without the accent. His art station.
I do like it when there's these pictures that are like army. It's like an army of statues. It's fucking awesome, isn't it? They're just brilliant
I was
pictures.
supposed to be there, guys. I was supposed to be in China for that moment when they put claw on the tables, but because of coronavirus, I can't go. So this would have been my first time at the factory myself, because Ig is in China all the time. He lives there, and he's actually working on the statue with his own hand. So he's there.
But that's very fortunate. That's fortunate. It's lucky that you've got your partner able to be already there. Because if he was based in Europe or outside of China, you'd be in big trouble.
That's the funny thing is, like when I see
that looks wicked. Look at that. Fucking hell,
when I see factory shots of something I've ordered, I get well excited. But I could not imagine what it would look like if this was actually a product I made. That's next level excitement.
I think after 20 years, still gets the butterfly, but it's not. He sees it more as the Olympics every time, because it's such a monumental challenge to do a production. And he does. Look at how many product Pure Arts has produced this year. Just think of the level of that this machine is going. So we managed to get ourselves in the right time. We did. By the way, Claw was well produced, like well. The production was well advanced because we did the work on the 3 statues, some of the work at the same time, obviously. So, it's crazy to see them like that. I
do something completely different. You know what I do? I look at it and then I go, I want that 13th one on the right. That's the one I want.
That's funny, but the one that Hugh sends me for approval, well, just to show me the production piece, he pulls it from the line without any QC. Well, the QC has been done, but just a random unit, just like if I was a customer. And that's what we do with the shipping.
Oh, so it's not like the bullshit we get where there was a guy who had a custom company. And basically what he would do is when someone said, oh, look, I got my new Cyclops statue from a licensed company and I'm so excited about it, he would then post and go, here's this one I just bought and it's amazing. And I managed to get #1. And you're like, don't you own that statue company? And that's why you got #1? And it's like, yeah, crazy stuff. Sorry, did you want to go over your competition, Pierre?
Just to mention it, because I think we're almost done here. We have a giveaway going on Instagram right now. So it's very easy. You have to follow House of Gog. I mean, the rules and how to enter is on the post. But just follow House of Gog on Instagram, one word, at House of Gog. It's the same at for Facebook and Twitter. But the contest is on Instagram only. And it's a 1 claw statue. And second prize is a claw art print. And it goes for a full week. And we're going to be pulling the winners next Friday. All details are in the post.
If you want to say them, you can, but it's up to you, Pierre. It's something you can tell.
I would, but I don't feel comfortable being there when we talk about customs and all that stuff. I'd rather I'll watch, but I'd rather just watch and be more in the shadows type thing.
What do you mean? Okay with no, I mean about your giveaway, bro. I mean, if you do want to share any of your details for the giveaway, like how you could win it and whatever else.
That felt.
What did you think? What did you think I meant there? That's
pretty. Oh wait, sorry, I just had it on there and it went away. Sorry, I messed up.
This moment just reminds me of when you tell a pregnant lady how long she's been pregnant and she tells you she's been pregnant. That felt a bit the same way.
That was pretty. So I was like, where the fuck is he going? He is going somewhere. Where's he going?
We have to like. You have to be a House of Gog follower. You have to like the post, and you have to tag 2 friends that are gonna like our stuff. Like, don't tag your grandmother and your sister, even though I don't mind if you do. But
maybe they'd like it. You don't know.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good point. But that's it. So it's pretty straightforward. And the statue is shipping Q1 2021. But I have to say, I'm not going to announce anything here. But it's from opening of pre-orders to shipping, it's about 5 months. So that's
can you see that picture or not?
Yeah, I can see it. It's perfect. That's a close-up of armor. Thank you. But the Geo, that's because we started before, right? By the time we opened pre-order, Claw is already done. That's why we're able to
amazing. Do this. You've been doing this from the beginning.
Yeah, but that's I'm not sure if I have any balls left though.
I remember.
It's a tough. We're able to do it because we are the factory, and also because I think it was smart to do it for our first line of first wave of products. That way, anybody who wants to do something similar now has to play catch up, which is kind of fun.
Now I have to fuck with you a little bit, Pierre. I have to put you on the spot. I need to ask you 2 questions. The first question is, what is your grail toy that you have in your collection behind you? What is your grail toy that literally gun to your head? I'm taking all of them. I'm leaving you a 1. What are you keeping?
Okay, it's gonna be weird though.
Prince Norm is asking if the statues are still available for purchase. Moonstone and Jack are both available for purchase.
And Moonstone's still available.
Yeah, we have. We're gonna sell out this year, almost certain, but we have still units yet. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to grab a Moonstone myself. Yeah. I did.
This is a Japanese sofubi from an artist that is named Atom Amarisura. It's going to be hard for you to connect with this type of work if you're not into a vinyl, Japanese vinyl. But this is only available through lottery. And as soon as I bought it, I had a message on Instagram of somebody that wanted to buy it for $1,000 for me.
Motherfucker, really?
Yeah, and I paid $100 for it. So this is another sort of
the fact that you still have it. You have my respect, Because if that had been Alex, that son of a bitch would be gone.
That would have been sold, man.
But
10 times the value. Bye.
I love all my toys. To be honest, it's very hard to. And this is something pretty cool, dude. I value a lot. This is from Hugues' collection. He had me. It's a Bowen Hellboy. Yeah. He told me to pick any toy I wanted and to his entire collection when I went there. One of the many times I went, and I told you guys this before, I think in private. But Hugues has over 1,000 statues and probably as many toys. Anything I wanted, one.
I would have fucking to.
Yeah, but stuff. Then listen, I didn't want to start, removing boxes. So, and I wanted to be sort of not abuse. I know.
Oh, dude, you're such a good guy. I would have so badly.
I took that small Bowen because he did mention that they had a very special place in his heart. But the cool thing is, and I don't think I have it here, but inside the box, I found 2 horns, which were not made by Bowen, but that Hugues made when he was fucking 12 years old. He sculpted, and I have goosebumps when I tell you this. He sculpted his own little horns for his Bowen Hellboy, and they were still in the box, and he had forgotten about it. So when I looked at it in front of it, I'm like, "What is this?" And I could see like all the memories coming in.
Oh, cool.
So it might be small and not necessarily super unique, but it has a lot of sentimental value. It's not mine to keep. It's just here as a sort of a lender. I'm going to return it to him eventually, but this is the one I took from his collection.
Okay, and the other question is, what hints can you give us for the next House of Gog release?
Okay. He's not good at doing this. I've tried.
The thing is,
well, that's why I'm doing it on camera. I'm being sneaky and slightly nasty about it.
The thing, Gio, is that I really want the new artist to be a complete surprise and kick somebody.
No. Don't tell me about anybody's artist. Just tell me like monster, female, zombie with something with 3 fucking heads.
I think we're gonna go into that's not necessarily a Pascal piece, but I think we're gonna go explore monsters next.
Good. That's perfect. I'm a big Monsters fan, so that's great. That's good for me.
But whatever you think our next statue will be, it's probably completely fucking different because we're going.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, it's still heavy metal vibe, badass, but it's completely different artist. But he's absolutely fucking amazing and super cool as well. And so we're in for a cool vibe for sure. A cool ride, should I say? And obviously, we're going to keep on doing work with Pascal. We already have projects in the pipeline with Pascal, some incredible design as well. But we really want to push another artist just to be able to show some diversity and to make people, because people are starting to understand what we're doing. And I can see it in the interaction, and then their customers are joining us and all that. I can see that the market we're developing. And when I say we, there's other companies who do art statues as well, more in the garage kit stuff, more like niche and very fringe stuff. But we're one of the only ones who do it like mainstream style, more like a sideshow statue top. The next artist is quite phenomenal, and we want to keep the artist with us, obviously, so that you can have a full line of Pascal Blan or a full line of the other artists, and they're all going to fit together, even if they're different artists. It's just like when you have art prints at home, you have different types of art prints. Well, you'll be able to have different types of art, House of Gog art statues.
That's good, man.
That's it.
Sounds fantastic.
All right, we'll wrap up there, and it's a good time. Great.
Amazing. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks to everyone. Hopefully next time we'll get you on.
For having me.
Okay, broken up already. Thanks for having me.
You've given me a heart attack. But yeah.
All right, he's frozen up and he looks like
cutting. So I heard right there.
All right.
Hey,
Well, at least it's not on your feed.
Normally. Sorry, guys. Where in the UK can you buy these statues? I think they ship to the UK.
You are.
Well, they ship to me. They ship to me, so yeah.
There he is. He's back. There you are.
So we lost you there. Yeah, we lost you. You went to like Commodore 64 graphics, and we lost you. Hello?
Nitrous 17. You can buy the statues directly on our website in the UK or all over the world. It's houseofgog.com. And that's it. You can reach out via DM.
Yeah, you gave a whole speech, but you cut off and we didn't hear a word of it.
Why?
You're telling I heard part of it. It sounded to me like, oh, thanks so much for having me on. You guys are awesome. You inspire me every day to do awesome things. That's what I heard anyway.
That's exactly
in my mind. This is what it was. That's pretty much how I speak to everyone.
Do you know why I said?
For the question about where you can get our statues in the UK or anywhere else in the world, basically, is through our website exclusively, houseofgog.com. We're looking to potentially have our statues in small shops, physical brick and mortar shops, but it's sort of a phase 2. If there's cool shops that are interested in our product, reach out to us, but it's not something that we push a lot, but definitely it would be cool to have our statues available in Europe so that people don't have to pay all those import fees and stuff like that, but there's not much we can do. It's part of the hobby. I collect stories from Japan or statues from Japan, and it's the same thing. In Canada, it's even worse than the US, because in the US, anything above $800 you pay duty, but under $800 you don't. In Canada, it's anything over $20 you pay duty.
Oh.
So sending a statue to the US, House of Gog statue, is duty free. So maybe this the reason why we put our price point just under $800. I wouldn't be able to confirm it, but it's duty free to the US. but it's not. Canada is tough. It's tough for us collectors in Canada.
I got to be honest. I honestly feel like this is the closest I'm going to get to interviewing George St. Pierre. Does anybody else feel that way?
I'm not the comments.
Actually, George St. Pierre I used to be a partner in a food store, organic food store, in my other life, and he was a customer of our store. Super nice guy.
He's one of my favorite UFC fighters.
Yeah, super nice guy. Very wise, a good fighter.
My wife is itching for me to go over to Canada anyway. She wants to go see it. So.
You guys, you have a good guide and a good friend when you come in Montreal. I
will be there, my man. And then when you say to me, I can take any toy, I'm taking that fucking £1,000 little thing and putting it in my pocket.
Next thing you know, George comes to the house. We have a nice dinner. You leave. Then I look at my toy shelf. What the fuck is that thing again?
Yeah, I'd be like, that's got. You know, I'd leave you with just like a big note that says 1,000. Fucking sold. Bye bye.
No. Now it's probably worth 3 times that amount, George.
Well, then it's definitely coming to me. It's paid for my ticket home.
Dude, I'd sell it for $20. If I get that off you, I'm selling it for $20. But yeah.
Yeah, but that's why you should never have it. But man, listen, Pierre, I'm really thankful that you came on, bro, and I have to say. Wish you every success. I think what you're doing should be applauded, and I think it's very brave. And I hope that it's rewarded in the right way via the community and sales and everything else. Because you're not a faceless company. You're someone who's put all your savings and all of your care into this. So we really want to see collectors win. If any of one of us was to go out and start a company, which is pretty much what you've done. You and Herg have done so. Congratulations and wish you every success. Thanks for coming on, and I hope I hope we've helped you with some sales at the very, very least.
Apparently, PA he hinted subtly to come on earlier, but you can't do subtle with me. I don't pick up on it.
It's all good, guys.
Oh no, PA, you got to talk to me, bro. Don't talk to Alex. Talk to me, man.
Grand Babaloo. No, guys, it was amazing to be able to talk to you. I know I talk to Alex often, more on a sort of a buddy a relationship, as well as a more of a a statue reviewer, statue maker relationship as well. But I'm happy and I'm really grateful. We are grateful for the support that we've gotten from RaddTitan. Many of RaddTitan's followers are already House of Gog clients. So this wouldn't have been possible without the exposure that you guys gave us. And we invite everybody who's starting to collect, who's a hardened collector, to look into our work. I'm not going to convince somebody who's a hardcore DC fan and has only DC characters in his collection to make the switch. But if you are like me, like a collector likes indie stuff, I think you will find some amazing work in our current statues and whatever is coming in the future, which will be at the very least as amazing in terms of looks and quality as what you've seen so far. We'll never go behind. We're always going to move forward and always be daring and trying to push the conventions and get out of the status quo of all collecting the same things, which I do as well, but I like to
something different. And on top of that, the hot women seem to like your statues too. So if you are out there and you do have loads of DC stuff and you fancy bringing hot women home, that will actually get you some brownie points, having a statue actually women like, you know, this will help, you know, because when it comes to females, they love the artistic flair that your stuff has. Actually, it definitely is. I think, you know, my wife loves your stuff. Alex's girlfriend loves your stuff. So, you know, it definitely appeals to people. I think with some good taste. I'd like to say that.
I agree.
My wife married me, so she must.
Yeah. We have many.
No, she didn't marry you, did she? You guess who, motherfucker?
Well, I mean, you can't say the same as I say about my girlfriend. I mean, you can't say she's got good taste if she's with me, can I? I don't know. She's got clearly something.
I don't know. You're kind of lovable, and you're lovable in your own way.
Yeah, he is.
Like,
we got to go now.
You know, like a person loves their Veruca that they had since they were 14 and got it at school.
You're attached to it. You know, you're attached to it. Anyway.
I'm really happy you came on, Pierre. So best of luck, man. Every success. Hope Claw sells. I hope the rest of your stuff is gone and out of the building, and may continue. Peace, man.
Thank you, guys. I love you, and stay sharp, boys. I love you.
Take care, man.